Hi, y'all, and welcome back. If you're new here, welcome and glad you found us. I am JoJo, and it is great to meet you. We are about to talk about another true crime case and hopefully see justice be done. But before we do, please hit that like button. And if you haven't already, click subscribe and turn your bell notifications to all so you can make sure to be notified when I post new videos. Thank you, everyone, for all your support. It means the world to me. Now sit back, kick off your shoes, grab your tissues and stress balls, and let's dive in. The content you are about to watch contains the subject matter of a real-life true crime event. Therefore, it is not suitable for all ages and is only intended for adults. Good Monday morning, everybody. We are going to be talking about Emmanuel Haro again. Sure that if you guys are still following this case, you've seen that there's a lot that has happened this weekend. Late last night, I ended up getting my hands on the case reports on the father, Jake. There's 3 different cases that I was able to get my hands on. So this is just going to be a video where I am going to go over those cases. Over the weekend, there has been a lot of speculations, rumors, one comment where somebody ended up posting something about that they found his body. That is just a rumor. I have not found anything at all that says that that is true. They are still searching as far as I know. I am still staying on top of this case. I want to see this little boy found. I am trying to be very hopeful that he will be found alive. Unfortunately, seeing the multitude of cases that I have, usually it does not end that way. And I hate to be Debbie Downer here, but I have a feeling this case is going to fall the same way that most of the other ones have. I don't want to think that way, but unfortunately, statistically, he is no longer with us. Part of me feels for mom, Rebecca. And then there's another part of me, I wonder how much she's involved. But I'm going to get into all of that more in another video. I want to try and get another video done later on tonight. But for right now, this video is going to be just about Dad, Jake, and his criminal history. He is actually out on probation right now. I'm going to start with the oldest case first, and then we're going to work our way towards the newest case, and we will go from there. Here is the first case right here. This is People versus Jake Mikel, maybe, Haro. So this right here, this is a felony out of Banning, California. So I went ahead and I've read through all of these already, and I did go ahead and highlight main things that I wanted to talk about. So we're probably not going to go into every single detail of these because I do want to try and make this a short video, because unfortunately with my internet it takes a long time to upload. I have DSL, but it's not necessarily high speed DSL, being that I do live in the woods. I'm going to try and make shorter videos and just do more of the videos so that it doesn't take so long for me to upload them. The arrest date was 10/12/2018. His bail on this one was $35,000. There was a co-defendant in here, but I don't want to make their name public, so I did redact that. They got probation in this particular case. Unfortunately, this was willful child cruelty. This was a felony, and he ended up pleading guilty, and he was convicted. He had 2 different bail amounts here. It starts out newer, so let's go all the way down to the bottom so that we can get to the earliest dates here. Okay, 10/5/2021, electronic declaration in support of arrest warrant received. And then this is all talking about the arrest warrant right here from 10/5/2021. And then 10/13/2021, declaration in support of arrest warrant filed. And then the hearing was set on 10/15/21, and that was set for 10/18/21 at 8 a.m. Now, you're going to see in a lot of these that they kept filing continuances. I don't understand why. And then on 10/18/2021, there was an electronic warrant sent for him at 10:01. Guessing that's AM. Assuming that they're going to be doing military time, being that I haven't seen AM and PM. And then he posted bond on 12/23/2021 for $35,000. There was a request for a warrant recall on December 23rd, 2021. I'm guessing that's because of the fact that he posted bond. Now, we'll get into the more interesting stuff here in a minute. So now I did try to get some actual docs on these cases, but unfortunately there was none available. And I don't understand why. Maybe it's because of the fact of what this case was. Okay, so bail submitted to clerk, order to recall, and quash warrant filed. And that was on 12/23/2021. And the warrant was recalled successfully on that same date. So then there was a warrant arraignment on January 12th, 2022. So now we're in 2022. And then this is the arraignment for the warrant. And this was on January 12th, 2022. So it goes through, talks about all the appearances and everything. Court finds good cause exists to exclude the public with the exception of the victims due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Which, I mean, yeah, January of 2022, we were still kind of afraid of COVID. We're still kind of afraid of COVID to this day. This matter is being live streamed, which I'm going to try and see if I can't access any of this, if there's any recorded video of this still. If I do find it, of course, I will share it with y'all. It did disclose that the judge, his wife, also works for the district attorney's office, which I would think that that would be conflict of interest, but apparently the judge was still able to preside over this case. Pursuant to 989 PC, defendant does not declare true name. So I'm not quite sure what that means. I haven't really had time to deal into the legalese on all of this. So if anybody out there is a lawyer or is familiar with all these legal terms, if you could please help me out with that by dropping some information in the comments, I would really appreciate that. Okay, so discovery provided to defense counsel. Defense counsel acknowledged receipt of discovery, and then defendant's counsel waives formal arraignment. Counsel for defendant waives formal reading of complaint and stipulates defendant has been advised of his, her legal and constitutional rights. Pleads not guilty to all charges. Felon settlement conference set for 3/24/2022 at 8:30. So that'll be March 24th, 2022 at 8:30. Defendant waives time for preliminary hearing plus 10 court days. Defendant waives 60-day rule for preliminary hearing on January 12th, 2022. Criminal Protective Order, DV, CPO 136.2 PC issued. Expires 1/12/2025. So that would be this year. Comment, no contact. Protected person, they put Jane Doe, and then in parentheses CH. So apparently the victim was C, and the last name was the same as our father. Because I did see that somewhere else, that they did slip and they did put the last name. And then so the child's first name starts with a C. Defendant has been served with the criminal protection order. Defendant was personally present at the court hearing, and no additional proof of service of the restraining order is required. Firearms prohibiting notification forms provided to the defendant. So, of course, being a felon, he can no longer own any firearms. So I guess once you're indicted on a felony, that you have to hand over your firearms at that point until you're exonerated from those charges. It's just my assumption. I do not know that for sure. So, court orders CPO filed as confidential, basis for confidentiality, court ordered. Of course, it's going to be confidential because you're dealing with a minor. Okay, so moving on to the next one. So 1/12/2022, request for continuance pursuant to PC 1050 filed. Criminal protection order filed, confidential, 1/12/2022, which we already read about that. February 14th, 2022, subpoena documents received from Loma Linda Hospital Radiology and forwarded to Records Division. So I'm assuming that is where the child ended up going from the injuries that Jake ended up causing to this child. And from what I have heard, which there again has only been rumor and speculation so far, I have not seen any evidence that what I've been hearing is truthful and factual. What I have heard is that he beat the child so severely that it caused brain damage in this child. So 2/14/2022, subpoena documents received from Loma Linda Children's Hospital and forwarded to Records Division, which of course, you know, they're going to keep all that stuff confidential because it is a minor. So March 24th, 2022, felony statement conference. And here is the records for the felony statement conference. So it was held at 8:30 a.m. So they did actually put a.m. this time. And then here are your appearances. And it says oral motion by defense, continue the matter is calling for hearing defense motion to continue pursuit to 1050 PC is granted. Motion to continue is not opposed by the people. Hearing continued to May 31st, 2022 at 8:30. So they went ahead and they just ended up doing a continuance. And then this is just defendant waives 10-day rule, defendant waives 60-day rule for preliminary hearing on March 24th, 2022. Defendant waives time for preliminary hearing plus 10 court days. And then this is just talking about the continuance. It was filed. So 5/31/2022. This is the felony settlement conference at 8:30 a.m., which here again, it looks like they're filing for another continuance. So I don't understand why they keep filing for continuances. I don't know if it's just because of the fact that schedules just weren't lining up or what. But all of them keep saying right here, reason for continuance, other. So again, it's pretty much the same thing. Oral motion by defense, continue the matter, is called for hearing defense motion to continue pursuant to 1050 PC is granted. Motion to continue is not opposed by the people. Hearing continued to July 11, 2022 at 8:30. And then, of course, the same thing again. Defendant waives 60-day rule for preliminary hearing on 5/31/2022. Defendant waives time for preliminary hearing plus 10 court days. And then here's where 5/31/2022, request for continuance pursuant to 1050 filed. And then on 6/8/2022, hearing set regards release of subpoenaed documents. So that would be the subpoenaed records from the hospital. And then June 8th, 2022, hearing set regards release of subpoenaed documents at 8:30 a.m. So defendant is not present. Oral motion by defense regards request to release subpoenaed documents is called for hearing. Subpoenaed records from Loma Linda Hospital are ordered released to people. Copies are to be provided to defense and people to retain those records. Hearing on July 11, 2022 at 8:30 for as in Frank, S as in Sam, C as in cat, is confirmed. So, in other words, they're just trying to get the records for their evidence so that they can go over it, I'm assuming, before the actual hearing on July 11th. So, July 11th, 2022, here's the record for the felony settlement conference at 8:30 a.m. And it looks like they might be filing for another continuance again. Defendant is not present. Defense counsel appears for defendant pursuant to 977 PC. Defense motion to continue pursuant to 1050 PC is granted. Motion to continue is not opposed by the people. Hearing continued to 9/19/2022 at 8:30, so that'll be September 19th, 2022 at 8:30. Pursuant to 1050 PC, the court finds good cause. Reason for continuance, other. Again, defendant waives time for preliminary hearing plus 10 court days. So we're continuing again. And, it took them 2 days to file the request for continuance this time. So that was done on July 13th, 2022. And then July 13th, 2022, temporary emergency waiver of defendant's personal presence. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that means. Maybe I should have looked up some of these legalese, but I had to sleep sometime last night, and I got this late last night, and I wanted to make sure to hurry up and get this out to y'all so that you could go over it and you could make of it what you will. So I'm sorry I did not study up on all the legalese first, so I do apologize for that. I will be doing more deep diving. It's just that with everything coming so quickly in this case, it's so hard to actually deep dive this stuff. Let's hope they don't file another continuance, but it looks like they're filing another continuance. So felony settlement conference at 8:30 a.m. on September 19th, 2022. And yes, defendant is present this time, though. See, he actually showed up this time. Defense motion to continue pursuant to 1050 PC is granted. Motion to continue is not opposed by the people. Hearing continued to 11/14/2022 at 8:30. So this time they're continuing to November 14th, 2022 at 8:30. And of course, again, reason for continuance, other. And then they filed the same day they filed request for continuance. Just to let y'all know, if you didn't notice, this one is actually 17 pages long. November 14th, 2022, felony settlement conference at 8:30 a.m. Let's make our way down. Defendant is present. Preliminary hearing set for 2/23/23 at 8:30. Time estimate for preliminary hearing is 1.5 hours. Last day for preliminary hearing is 3/6/23, March 6, 23. They actually made the felony settlement conference this time. No continuance. Woohoo! But wait a minute. We see 11/22/22 request for continuance filed. What is that for? I guess that's for the preliminary hearing. Wait, preliminary hearing is set for February 23rd, 23. Let's make our way up. February 23rd, 23. Preliminary hearing at 8:30 a.m. It looks like a lot of people didn't show up. Okay, so making our way down. Looks like a continuance. Defendant is present. Stipulated motion to continue pursuant to 1050 PC is granted. Hearing continued to April 3rd, 23 at 8:30. The court finds good cause has been shown to grant the continuance. Reason for continuance, other. Defendant waives time for preliminary hearing plus 10 court days. Time estimated for preliminary hearing, 90 minutes. Last day for preliminary hearing is April 17th, 2023. The request for continuance was filed on February 23rd, 23. April 3rd, 2023. Preliminary hearing at 8:30. No appearances, but it says here that the defendant was present, and it says mandatory settlement conference set on May 26, 2023 at 8:30. April 3rd, 2023, they put in another request, or they filed another request for continuance. And then, of course, May 26, 2023, mandatory settlement conference at 8:30 a.m. Defendant was present. At 11:49, the following proceedings were held. Mandatory settlement conference set on 6/8/2023 at 8:30. Defendant waives time for preliminary hearing plus 10 court dates. Current bail bond continued. And then we have May 26, 2023, another request for continuance was filed. And then this one looks like it's a long one. Yeah, this was the long one. Okay. This was the mandatory settlement conference. And this one is a doozy. June 8th, 2023, mandatory settlement conference at 8:30 a.m. 1356, the following proceedings were held. Settlement reached after MSC hearing. Plea to the court. Defendant withdraws plea of not guilty as to counts 1 and is rearraigned. Defendant's counsel waives formal arraignment. Felony plea form is incorporated herein and includes the following adversements and waivers. Defendant advised of constitutional rights. Defendant advised of right to a speedy and public trial by judge or jury. Defendant advised of right to confront and cross-examine witnesses. Right to present evidence on own behalf. Defendant advised of privilege against self-incrimination. Defendant advised of charges and consequences of his or her plea and statutory sentencing. Defendant waives constitutional rights. Defendant waives right to trial by jury. Defendant waives right to confront and cross-examine witnesses. Defendant waives privilege against self-incrimination. Defendant waives rights to preliminary hearing, district attorney, and court consent to waiver. Defendant pleads guilty to counts 1. Defense counsel concurs in defendant's plea and or admissions. Court finds based on inquiry and examination of defendant that defendant has the ability to understand and does understand his or her constitutional rights. Court finds defendant's admission of guilt and or admission of prior conviction and or probation violations, if any, is the result and product of the result of the defendant's expressly, knowingly, understandingly, and intelligently waives his or her constitutional rights, including but not limited to right to counsel, privilege against self-incrimination, to trial by jury, and to confront accusers and voluntary made with an understanding of the nature and consequences thereof. Defendant's waiver of constitutional rights taken orally and or in writing. Court finds factual basis for the plea is based on oral statement from the defendant on record. Court finds plea is free and voluntary. Court finds defendant knows and understands constitutional rights, nature of charges, and consequences of plea. Court accepts plea. Case certified to Superior Court. Commence certification. Defendant waives probation referral. Defendant waives arraignment for pronouncement of judgment. Defendant requests immediate sentence. No legal cause why sentence should not be pronounced. State prison sentence. Probation is denied and a state prison sentence is imposed as follows. As to count 1, the count imposes the upper term of 6 years, 0 months. Principal count deemed to be count 1. Execution of sentence suspended. Proceedings are suspended for the charges 01. Formal probation is granted for a period of 48 months under the following terms and conditions. Obey all laws, ordinances, and court orders. Be committed to the custody of the Riverside County Sheriff for 180 days. Credit for time served of 0 actual days plus 0 days pursuant to 4019 PC for a total of 0 days. 179 days to be served in the work release program. Report on or before July 7, 2023. Referral notice generated. RSO work release. Be committed to the custody of the Riverside County Sheriff for 1 day free for booking purposes only. Report to nearest Riverside County Jail by June 15, 2023. As to count 1, court operations assessment fee of $40 imposed for each convicted charge. Pay conviction assessment fee for the following convicted counts: 1, $30 each misdemeanor and felony. Pay restitution fine of $300. Pay $300 for probation revocation restitution fine. Said restitution fine is stayed, and the stay shall be lifted upon the revocation of probation, and if the defendant is sentenced to prison or county jail without a probation or condition sentence imposed. If your fine or actual restitution is not paid in full within 120 days prior to probation expiration, you are ordered to recontact Enhanced Collection Division and complete a new financial disclosure statement form. Pay victim restitution, amount to be determined by the probation department. Any disputes as to restitution amount to be resolved in a court hearing. Defendant ordered to report to Enhanced Collection Division regarding payment of fines, fees by August 15, 2023. Set payment date for August 15, 2023. Submit to immediate search property, including all residence, premises, storage units, containers, and vehicles under your control by probation officer or law enforcement officer with or without cause. So they can go in at any time while he is under probation, which this is 48 months. And this was in 2023. So let me do the math there. 48 months, that's 4 years. 2023 plus 4 years would be 2027. Let me see, we're in 2025. If I do my math right, he still has 2 more years on probation. So they can go in at any time with or without cause and search any of his property. So they didn't even have to have cause to go in and search him right now. Anything that he owns or anywhere where he's living. Provide a DNA sample as directed by probation or law enforcement personnel. Authorized agency to forward specimens to DOJ for analysis. Defendant to show proof of compliance to clerk of the court within 30 days. Participate and complete at your expense any counseling, rehabilitation, treatment program deemed appropriate by probation officer, and authorize the release of information related to progress. Enroll in a probation approved 1-year minimum child abuse treatment program. Provide proof of enrollment to probation office within 30 days of this order release. Pay all program fees and submit proof of payment and program completion as directed by probation officer. Defendant ordered to enroll in child batterers program classes by July 10, 2023. Do not associate with any unrelated person you know to be on either probation, parole, mandatory supervision, or post-release community supervision. Do not leave the state of California without first obtaining written permission of the probation department per the Interstate Compact Act. Keep the probation officer informed of your place of residence. Give written notice to the probation officer 24 hours prior to a change of residence. Seek and maintain gainful employment or attend a full-time school or vocational program. Do not have any direct or indirect contact with Jane Doe, CH. Do not knowingly own, possess, have under your control or immediate access to any firearm, deadly weapon, ammunition, or weapon-related paraphernalia or incendiary device, which you'll see why I'm emphasizing that part later on. Hint, hint. Firearms prohibiting notification forms provided to defendant. Provide true name, address, and date of birth if contacted by law enforcement. Report any arrest or any contact where you provide law enforcement your name, address, or date of birth in writing to the probation officer within 48 hours. Include the date of contact or the arrest and charges, if any, and the name of the law enforcement agency. If expelled or deported, do not re-enter the United States illegally. That's kind of a duh. Any valid domestic violence protection restraining order existing during the period of probation is incorporated into the probation terms. Report to probation officer immediately or within 2 days of release from custody for initial instructions and follow all reasonable directives of probation officer. If expelled, deported, or voluntarily leave the United States, you must report to the probation department by telephone or in writing within 30 days of departure. Why do they give them 30 days? In my opinion, that's way too long. Perform 20 hours of community service through a nonprofit organization. Complete by July 22, 2024. Hearing set regarding Prop 63 on July 19, 2023 at 8:30. I don't know what Prop 63 is. I'm sorry, y'all. I should have looked that up. Referred to the probation department for an investigation report pursuant to PC 29810, Prop 63. Okay, there again, they're talking about Prop 63. Probation notified. CPO 136.2 PC protective order issued on January 12, 2022 is terminated forthwith. Criminal protection order other than DV, CPO probation issued. Expires June 8th, 2027. Comment, no contact. Protection person, okay, so this is where they mention the last name. C. Haro. Defendant has been served with the criminal protection order. Defendant was personally present at the court hearing and no additional proof of service of the restraining order is required. Firearms prohibiting notification forms provided to the defendant. Defendant accepts terms and conditions of probation. Current bail bond exonerated. Custody status information released on probation. From what I'm understanding, he never actually did any real jail time. He just got probation. You know, that's just basically slapping him on the damn wrist. I mean, what's wrong with California? Okay, I'm not going on a rant. I'm not going to do it. I am just here to read the documents. That's all I'm doing today. That's another video. Sorry. I will be nice. I will just go over documents right now because I told you I wanted to keep this short. June 8th, 2023. Criminal protective order other than DV filed. Order expires June 8th, 2027. Okay, June 8th, 2023, notice of termination of protective order filed. So I wonder why they ended up having to redo the CPO. I don't quite understand that. It was the other CPO, maybe that was just a temporary until he was actually charged. Maybe one of y'all can help me out down there in the comments and let me know if you know why that would be. Another one from the same day, from June 8th, 2023, felony plea form filed, notice of bail bond exoneration filed, and I don't know why I didn't highlight this. I should have. Payment of $370 received. Email notification from probation department regarding address change received. Of course, he had to have an address change because he wasn't going back. Oh, the payment was received on June 12th, 2023. So that wasn't done on the 8th. Okay. And then June 13th, 2023 was when the email notification was done for the address change. And then June 13th, 2023, proof of enrollment of child batterers program filed. July 19th, 2023, hearing set regarding Prop 63 at 8:30 8:30 a.m. Defendant is not present. Matter not called in open court. Prohibited persons relinquishment form findings. Court finds defendant relinquished all firearms per the probation officer's report and provided relinquishment receipts. Okay, so that must be what the Prop 63 is regarding. It's regarding the relinquishment of all firearms then, being that he is now a felon. 7/19/23, probation officer's firearm relinquishment report filed. November 20th, 2023, progress report regarding child batterers treatment program was filed. I just wish that they would have given me access. I mean, I would have even paid for the documents. I mean, I had to pay for this even. Fortunately, California doesn't want to give you anything for free. Thank you, California. Anyway, bail bond filed. Appearance date is 8/9/2024. That was on 7/2/2024. Okay, so he's got another court date and then another, oh, that's the same bail bond number. To be addressed by 6/27/2026, which is 2 years from effective date 6/27/24. 7/2/2024, that's the same bond number, posted for $50,000. Okay, so 7/2/2024, released on bail bond, appearance date 8/9/2024. When did he go back in? I didn't see that part. He didn't go back in, did he? Wait a minute. Why would he have another bail bond if he didn't go back in? Did I miss something here? Because you got here 7/19/2023, prohibited persons relinquishment form findings filed, and then court initiated 8715 printed, which I'm not sure what that form is. He's working on his treatment program, and then it skips from 11/20/2023. But am I missing something here? Because it goes 11/20/2023, and he's working on his treatment program. And he's got a progress report, unless something was off within that progress report. Jumps from 11/20/2023 to 7/2/2024, and now it's saying that another bail bond is filed, and his appearance date is set for 8/9/2024. Maybe we should just go ahead and scroll up and see what we can find. Because I went through these documents fairly quickly and just kind of scanned them. I didn't actually really read them, so I'm finding things out with y'all right now. Oh, I see a VOP. All right, so let's go ahead and read on. So now we know we've got an issue up there. So 7/2/2024, he has a bail bond filed with an appearance date of 8/9/2024. Okay, so apparently that one's for $50,000. I think the first one was only for $30,000, if I'm not mistaken. We would have to go back a little ways, I think. But I'm pretty sure that the other bond was only for $30,000 the first time around. I guess when you end up VOPing that they raise your bond more than what it was originally, $35,000. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. So let's go back up to where we were. Scrolly, scrolly, scrolly. Okay, so let's find out what this VOP was. All right, so August 9th, 2024, which was just last year, actually just over a year ago. Hearing on petition to violate, revoke, modify, or terminate probation at 8:30 a.m. Defendant present. Probation ordered revoked. Violation of probation arraignment hearing set October 7th, 2024 at 8:30. Defendant enters general time waiver. Defendant ordered to return on any and all future hearing dates. Okay, so it really doesn't say much. And then on that same day, on August 9th, 2024, hearing set regarding bail bond posted on July 2nd, 2024, violation of probation. Okay, maybe it'll tell us more as we work our way up here. Okay, so 8/9/2024, hearing set 8/9/2024 at 8:30 for HS is vacated. I hate when they do all these abbreviations and then don't tell you what it's for. I mean, some abbreviations are kind of common sense, but HS, what is that? That's high school. I don't think they're talking about high school. Request for continuance pursuant to PC 1050 filed. That was on 8/9/2024. The arraignment hearing was held at 8:30 a.m. on 10/7/2024. Defendant was present. Violation of probation arraignment hearing set for 12/13/2024. So we've got another continuance, it looks like, for the charge 1. Allegations of violation of probation for term 1. Probation remains revoked. Matter trailing case. And it's got a different case number, which I do have that case as well. Defendant ordered to return to any and all future hearing dates. December 13, 2024. Violation of probation arraignment hearing at 8:30 a.m. Says no appearances. Defense motion to continue pursuant to 1050 PC is granted. Motion to continue is not posed by the people. Hearing continued to April 25th, 2025 at 13:30. The court finds good cause has been shown to grant the continuance. Reason for continuance, more preparation needed for defense. Hey, at least they give a reason other than other this time. And then, of course, this is trailing that other case, which we will end up going over. That's going to be our last case that we go over, actually. Defendant enters general time waiver, April 25th, 2025. Violation of probation arraignment hearing at 1:30 p.m. Defendant is present. Defense motion to continue is granted. Motion to continue is not opposed by the people. Hearing continued to July 2nd, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. Reason for continuance, other. Really? Come on. Probation remains revoked. Written notice regarding PCU 1050 continuance was not provided by moving party for the following reason, oral motion. Okay. So this is getting rather interesting. So if probation remains revoked, I'm a little confused as to what exactly that means. Does that mean that he is not currently on probation? So should he be in custody if probation is revoked? When did he get out of custody? And that leads me to even more questions now about Emmanuel and also about the bruises on Rebecca's face. At least you guys have this information, so maybe y'all can help me out down there in the comments as to what's going on here. I really should have done my homework. I'm so sorry, y'all. I just did not have the time, but I really wanted to get this information out to you guys because I know that I have some really smart people out there watching these videos, and hopefully y'all can help me out. Let's get back to these docs. Okay, so May 1, 2025, proof of completion of work release. July 2nd, violation of probation arraignment hearing. Okay, so he had his violation of probation arraignment hearing on July 2nd of this year at 8:30 a.m. Defendant is present. Defense motion to continue. Why? Is granted. Motion to continue is not opposed by the people. Hearing continued to September 2nd, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. The court finds good cause has been shown to grant the continuance. Again, reason for continuance, other. Probation remains revoked, but he's not in custody right now. Yet his probation remains revoked. So obviously that means that when your probation is revoked, you're not held in custody, not in the state of California, obviously, because he's out there walking the streets. Oh, I'm so confused. Y'all, please help me out. This is the end of this case record. Me with some of the research on this to explain some of this stuff out. I had an ex that he got a VOP and wait. Okay, now, never mind. That just triggered something in my brain. Hello, JoJo. He bailed out. He bailed out on the VOP. So as long as he's bailed out, he won't be in custody. That's right. That's a big duh to me. Never mind. I'm sorry, y'all. You know what? I have decided I'm actually going to break this up into separate videos because, like I said at the beginning, I want to try and keep these videos shorter and just do more of them because of the way that they upload. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this video now, and then I'm going to start a new video. So just be on the lookout for more videos to come. So if you want to get notified as soon as I put out the new videos, all you have to do, and it's completely free, just subscribe to my channel. Make sure sure that your bell notifications are set to all. I will catch you in the next video, and if I don't see you in the next video, stay safe, stay happy, and have a wonderful rest of your Monday. See y'all in a little bit. Bye-bye.